serve, your term is 2 years. So I wouldn't do like a lot of these people. I think a normal governor should, and they've talked about this before. The governor here in New Hampshire should be for 4 years. I kind of agree with that because if they're constantly, every year they're every other year they're campaigning, and that takes away from the office, I think. So I'd be for having a 4-year governor's term here in this state and 2 terms max. I know that's what I'd limit myself to. I don't think I could handle more than 6 or 8 years in public office anyway. I think that's it'd be hard to have 2 years, but I think my max is 8. And no, don't worry. I know some people are probably here in New Hampshire are probably hearing that, especially those who've asked me to run for a local rep a few times. I'm sure they're probably going to be getting a hold of the Republican committee here and say, hey, Rod's interested in governor. How can we groom him for that? No, don't bother. I'll let you know when I'm ready, if I'm ever ready. But it is a compliment. If your local or county Republican committee or party comes to you and says that they think that you would be an awesome fit for this particular person that you should run, seriously consider it. Be down in prayer about it and talk to your family about it. And if your family and God says it's the thing that you should probably do, then go for it. Don't be afraid to do it. Really, honestly, don't. Speaking of local and county stuff, not tomorrow, but next Friday, I will be in Erie, Pennsylvania, at the Erie County Republican Party. I have the address. I don't know what the address is. Not sure if it's a hotel or not, but convention center or what have you. But it's at 55 West Bay Drive in Erie, PA. 7:00. So you're going to want to come on out and listen to me give my keynote. Now they have me. This is really cute. Because I guess they're advertising down there, and they're billing me as a celebrity guest speaker. Now, I don't know exactly what that means, except to say that I appreciate that, but I don't consider myself a celebrity. I'm just your guest speaker for the evening. So the Erie County Republican Party is throwing a bash next Friday, October 23rd at 7 p.m. Here it is, at the Sheraton Erie Bayfront Hotel on West Bay Drive in Erie, Pennsylvania. So be there if you're in the neighborhood. And if you are, Jamestown, New York is only about, I looked it up, it's only about 45-minute drive away. It's a short drive. It's about an hour and a half from Cleveland, Ohio. So if you're in that vicinity, take the drive out. Come see me, talk to me. I love talking to people when I'm out there. I mean, my speeches are very short. The question and answer period is usually longer than my speech. And of course, afterwards, after the get together gathering sort of breaks up, I get to talk to people one-on-one in a private setting, and that's a lot of fun. So, yeah, feel free. You can come on out. People ask me questions all the time. And as I said, everywhere I have spoken, given a keynote speech, the question and answer period, because people have so many questions, has always been longer than the speech. So evidently, you're not going to be bored, evidently. I'm not like Bill Clinton and Obama, and because I don't get to the point where I say, and in closing, and everybody claps for that part. No. I think the last time I said, well, in closing, I think people went, aw. So come on out, have some fun, listen to me talk like you're listening to me now. But the benefit is that you get to actually see me face-to-face, one-on-one, and talk to me directly. I love that type of interaction. Again, that's Friday, October 23rd, 7 p.m. at the Sheraton Erie Bayfront Hotel in Erie, Pennsylvania. Obama has done a reversal on Afghanistan. And, when I first heard this, I did my Tim Allen impression, like, huh? And the whole thing is the man has, because he's such an idiot, he's not dumb, but when it comes to foreign policy and his own true core beliefs, he's such an idiot but finally it sounds like some of the other world leaders who are our allies have beat it into this man's head. Look, dude, you're abandoning the area, and this is what's happening, and it's getting so bad that the Soviet Union and Iran are now the big cheeses down there, and it's so bad that Britain has to tell their own pilots that now they have permission to shoot down Russian aircraft if they appear to be hostile towards them. It never should have happened if you stayed in the battle, Barack. And now Barack is probably getting, barraged so much. Because, Bibi is out there saying, Barack, you're an ass. Oh, I'm just going to put it out there. That's probably what Bibi's saying behind closed doors. And he's getting barraged, and it looks like that his legacy is going to be severely damaged if he does not do something significant. And so now he's coming out. Well, I'm going to leave some troops there until 2017. It's only going to be like 5,000, 5,500, which is better than nothing, but it's not enough. I hate to say this. I mean, look, I know that we've been there for 14 years in Afghanistan, but understand this. This is not a war in Afghanistan. This is not a war in Iraq. And see, this is where the lamestream media, including Fox, has gone astray with this. I have said time and time again, it is the war on terror. It is the battle of Afghanistan. It is the battle of Iraq. It is the battle of Syria in the war on terror. Because we didn't say it was, during World War II, we didn't say it was a war of the bulge. It was a battle of the bulge in World War II. It was a battle. You can win battles, but battles don't win the war. This is going to be a long drawn out war, and President George W. Bush warned us about this. He said this is not the type of warfare that mankind has ever been used to or has ever seen. This is something totally new, and we're going to have to learn as we go. So I wish that these news outlets, at least Fox, would get this right. It is not the war in Iraq. It is not the war in Afghanistan. It is not the war in Syria. These are battles. Yes, they're countrywide battles, but battles nonetheless in the war that we have declared. The problem is that they thought, and here's the problem, because they thought, Barack thought and tried to foist on the American people, hey, we won the war in Iraq, and so we can pull out. No, when you win a war, the enemy is no longer around to be able to rise up against you. So Iraq wasn't a war, it was a battle. And because we just won the battle and not the war, the enemy was not defeated. It's kind of like saying, okay, hey, we won the Battle of the Bulge, so let's just pull out now and go. Do you think Germany would have not went back in the Bulge if we pulled out? Exactly, of course they would have. Well, this is exactly what's happening in Afghanistan and Iraq. Because those aren't wars, they're battles, and we've pulled out of the battle, so the enemy who hasn't been destroyed and defeated is coming back in. And maybe this guy is starting to get a little tiny glimpse of that and say, oh boy. Because now he's going to go out down as the president who lost Afghanistan, who lost Iraq, who gave rise to ISIS, and who also helped Russia gain a foothold in the Middle East where they didn't really have a military foothold before. Now he's going to try to, well, he's got like a year left in office. He's going to act now? And people have to understand and put things. This is why I always say words matter and words mean things. And that you just can't start changing the meaning of the classic meaning of words, just so it can fit your own persona or your own notion or your own idea of what the world should be like. That doesn't work. And by saying this is a war in Iraq doesn't change the perception or the reality that it wasn't the war in Iraq, it was a battle. In that we didn't win the war on terror, we only won the battle in Iraq, and then we pulled out. A war comes to an end only one of two ways. Either both sides decide, well, this is stupid, neither one of us are getting anywhere, let's just call a peace and we'll call it a draw and call it a day. Or there's an unconditional surrender of one side to the other. Well, we haven't had either one of those scenarios happen in Iraq and Afghanistan. Why? Because we didn't defeat the enemy. Why? Because those were battles, not wars. People, you really got to understand the difference between a battle and a war. And I'm going to be very vigilant on how I address this from the future, because I have interchanged those terms too, and I should not do that. You know, I'm part of this whole media group now, I guess, and I need to be more cognizant of what words mean. And you are most likely not going to hear me say war in Iraq and war in Afghanistan and war in the Middle East and war in Syria, but battles. Because that's what they are. And we really need to start using those terms in their proper connotation, because if we don't, we're going to get smoked, and we're going to end up back at square one. And this is what's happening in Iraq and Afghanistan. We're back at square one almost. I mean, all of those American and Allied lives that were lost or that were severely damaged and forever changed, that was all for naught. Because we mislabeled this type of action and thought we'd won something that we did not win, and so we pulled out. And this whole notion that the Americans are just so fatigued with war, oh, BS we are. We don't like war, but we also don't want to go away, unless we're victorious. And we've got to have a strong, long-term resolve. Because we just can't pull back and think, okay, we did what we did, and we're just tired of it, so we're just going to come. We can't play with people's lives like that. And that's what we're doing if they think that, Americans are just tired of war. There's war fatigue. No, you're playing with people's lives. And you'd be surprised to know that you're playing with your own life by thinking that way. Because guess what? War and terror, they're not leaving the war over there. They're trying to bring it here. So if you think that this is going to be like, I know we're not used to having war, battles and wars fought on our soil, but they have in the past. But we, as people, we're not used to that because we haven't seen it for over 100 years. But guess what? It's back now, folks. And your idea of getting fatigued about war, they're not fatigued at all. And they're coming here to bring the battle to us in our own streets. Going to tell me that you're too tired to deal with that? You better get off your duff and start paying attention and understanding what words mean like. And get unfatigued real fast.